Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has expressed his willingness to resign if it would ensure peace for his country, even suggesting he could exchange his resignation for NATO membership. In a press conference on Sunday, Zelensky said, "If it guarantees peace for Ukraine, if you really need me to resign, I am ready. I can exchange it for NATO."
If it's about peace in Ukraine and you really want me to leave my position, I am ready to do that. Or I can exchange it for NATO membership if there's the opportunity. I'll do it immediately, without a long conversation about it. I am focused on Ukraine's security today and not in 20 years. I don't plan to be in power for decades.
His remarks come amid rising tensions with US President Donald Trump, who has criticized Zelensky for suspending elections while Ukraine remains under martial law.
I think that President Putin and President Zelensky are going to have to get together because you know what? We want to stop killing millions of people.
Zelensky talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that basically couldn't be won, that never had to start and never would have started if I was president, not even a chance. And it didn't start for 4 years, never would have started. But a war that he, without the U.S. and Trump, will never be able to settle. They'll never settle that war.
Ukraine has been under martial law since Russia's invasion 3 years ago, which prohibits elections. Zelensky also pushed back against Trump's proposal to demand $500 billion in mineral resources from Ukraine as part of a potential deal to reflect the U.S. aid provided to Ukraine during the war. Zelensky firmly rejected the figure, saying, "I am not going to recognize $500 billion," and explained that paying it back would burden Ukraine for 250 years, potentially affecting 10 generations of Ukrainians. While the U.S. has been one of Ukraine's closest allies under President Biden, providing billions of military aid, Trump has made it clear that he believes the U.S. should stop sending aid without receiving something in return.
I want them to give us something for all of the money that we put up, and I'm going to try and get the war settled, and I'm going to try and get all that death ended. So we're asking for rare earth and oil, anything we can get.
Ukraine is pushing for U.S. security guarantees as part of any agreement regarding its mineral resources. Zelensky and Trump's strained relationship has worsened after Trump falsely accused Ukraine of starting the conflict. Though Trump later admitted Russia attacked, he blamed both President Biden and Zelensky for not stopping the fighting sooner. This rift between the two leaders has further complicated matters as U.S. and Russian officials held exploratory peace talks in Saudi Arabia this week, leaving Ukraine on the sidelines and raising concerns among European allies. Zelensky said that his approach to dealing with the Trump administration arguing there is no space for emotions here. Regarding Trump's remarks about him, Zelensky remarked, "I would not say President Trump's words about me are compliments, to say the least." Meanwhile, overnight, Russia launched a record 267 drones at Ukraine, killing at least one person in what is being called the largest drone attack since the conflict began. Zelensky condemned the attack as a terrorist act and reaffirmed Ukraine's commitment to resisting aerial terror. He emphasized that Ukraine needs the strength of all its partners, especially Europe and America, to achieve lasting peace. Zelensky also stressed the importance of continued U.S. military support, stating that any agreements made should not impact that critical aid. Meanwhile, Zelensky's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, spoke about ongoing discussions with American partners, including U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and National Security Advisor Michael Waltz. In a Telegram post, Yermak expressed gratitude for the U.S. partnership and the bipartisan support Ukraine has received throughout the war. Cassandra Yunumbi, Eagles FM News.